Let's see what our theme for our new beginnings is. Start off with the theme here. Putting yourself first. We have the nurture card, and this is a card that talks about putting yourself first. Okay, you have to nurture yourself before you can even help nurture another person, because it's only going to benefit if you work on yourself first. Because if you're not straight, you're putting your energy out there for others when your energy is not even aligned itself. Okay, so I'm also feeling like there's a need to rest. There's been a lot of downloads regarding resting, because a lot of you give. Your heart is so big that you give. And that's understandable, but at times we can burn ourselves out giving too much, because we are of the light, because our heart is of the life and of the life. Because our heart is of the light and gives life, you know, we tend to not even really expect anything back, because we're truly giving from the heart. But the problem is, you gotta know when it's time to stop, and when you're not receiving enough that'll fill you back up. We talk about giving when your cup is full, but once again, I say this over and over, it's not about when your cup is full, it's when your cup is in an overflow. Because I understand, yeah, it's full, but when you give, then now it's half. Now you got to build yourself up again. You don't have that energy. But when you give the overflow, it's not taking truly from your cup, because you're overflowing, right? Yes. Let's see. Let's get some more. Okay. Trust. Oh, I'm feeling like, you're some of you are feeling like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. But you're not trusting the process. Okay? I say this all the time. You can't take things out of the oven before it's ready. So I almost feel like you're putting your hand in too many things at once. You got to pull back a little bit. And I feel like it's because you're not telling a lot of people no, right? You're not telling a lot of people no. You may be getting ideas and everything, but you need to focus on your ideas, because you got to realize that people see who you are. They see your talents. And a lot of people, they want to use that and it benefits them. But at the end of the day, if you aren't focused on your own and building that up, then you start focusing on somebody else's, then you're taking away from yourself. You're not even finished with this yet. So your ideas, people see, okay, yes, all their energy is coming off this person. Let me get some of that. And you're such a helpful person. A lot of you are very helpful. And like I said, giving of the heart. So you're like, oh, absolutely, no problem. I have no issue helping you with this. But the thing is, you got to help yourself right now. Okay? You got to, and I understand that it can feel like you're being selfish, because what? We were programmed like that, right? But we are now in a season of self. Last season, it was a season of recognition. This is the season of self, okay? Let's move forward a little bit more. And see, we're going to have some epiphanies going on. And the thing about it is, when you don't feel like it's, when you're not in alignment with how you really are supposed to be, you know, think about it. When you tell Spirit that you want a specific thing, Spirit's like, cool. And then you start going along with it. It starts working with you. Spirit's working with you. Then all of a sudden you deviate. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said you wanted this. Where you going? Let me pull you back over here. That's what the Tower card is. I'm gonna have to destroy some things so you can bring your focus back where you said you wanted it. Okay? A lot of you may be dealing with feeling chased by your past or your shadows. Feeling like it's somebody else, but ma'am, sir, it's your own shadows. You're running from yourself. This isn't anybody else. It isn't anybody else. It's you. So I don't know why I'm hearing delusions. It's almost like you're creating delusions because you don't want to admit that this is actually your demons. Nobody's sending you any demons. These are yours and yours alone. They were already there. And and it may be, maybe a person has triggered that. But you got to realize that people of the light, this is what we do. We're fractals of light bouncing off each other. We're mirrors, we're reflections. So a person of the light, when you come across a person of the light, yeah, they're going to trigger you. They're supposed to. That's a part of their purpose. That's the reason why they even came across you. Y'all came across each other. Y'all crossed each other's paths. Because they were meant to trigger you into greatness. They were meant to trigger you to face yourself. It can be done. You know why it can be done? Because what you're seeing is the fact that that person has done the work. That they have shifted their own reflection. And when you look at them, you see. I'm talking to these karmics now. When you look at them, you see what you are not and what you want to be. Sit in that. Because you're right in there. You're there. It's not even truly them. They're only showing you what you already know. You already know this. You already know you need to do the work. Let's not fake the funk. It can't be done. You can't fake it. But see, the issue is because there's a disconnect between your masculine and feminine self. Everyone has masculine energy and feminine energy. Everyone. There's a balance in that. One is not stronger than the other. One has strengths and weaknesses, and the other compensates by having the strengths of those weaknesses. And vice versa. You balance each other. Okay? The masculine and feminine energies balance each other. Then we're seeing vulnerability, having an issue with being vulnerable. But this isn't even about being truly vulnerable with others, but being vulnerable with yourself. You have to be truthful with yourself. You have to tell yourself the truth. You can't hide. How can you hide from yourself? Your shadow goes wherever you go. If you are the light, there is the shadow. And it's not separate from you. It will always be there. Always. You have to acknowledge that. You have to accept that. You have to know that it's all you. Stop waiting on other people to give you permission. Stop waiting on other people to give you permission to make your own moves in growth. This validation that some are still seeking. There's no growth in that. You have to learn to validate yourself. You have to become that leader of yourself. There's nobody who's going to lead your life but you. They can't. You can try to allow it, but eventually, even that individual, if they're a healthy individual and a healthy aligned individual, they're not going to want to run your life. They're not going to want to make the decisions for you. You have to do that. Because if you want to do that, that's just you trying to use them as a scapegoat. You don't want to take responsibility and accountability for yourself. So you want to say, oh, well, such and such told me to do that. Yeah, but you made the final decision. I tell people all the time, I don't mind taking, suggestions or hearing suggestions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to take them. Like, I don't have to. They're merely suggestions and opinions. That doesn't mean that I have to make them my own. I don't have to agree, especially if I don't feel that it's in alignment with my own purpose. Because you got to realize nobody can tell you, really. You got to tell others by showing them. This is what I'm doing. You may not agree with it, but you must respect it. And if they don't respect it, then you remove yourself. Very simple. Very, very simple. Stop trying to take the back seat to your own life. You're much stronger. And see, another problem is because some of you are having an issue with fear. How funny that this is there. You're having a fear of failing, which is low-key a fear of success. Failing is merely a stepping stone. Why? What would be the purpose of not trying again? There's no growth in that. So you're just going to give up? Nonsense. Because even if another person tells you to give up, you need to shove it in their face and say why. What for? I'm going to keep going. There's nothing going to stop me. If I'm not letting me stop me, why would I let you stop me? This is the season of self. Be courageous and be bold. Be courageous and be bold. Like I said, shove it in their face. Because they want you to stop. They want you to stop because it's making them feel some type of way. Oh, she over there doing that now. He over there doing that now. Okay, you so worried about what somebody else doing. What you doing? What you got going on? I guess not much if you over here worried about what he over here doing and what she is. It always amazes me that you'll have people who are like, oh, I got just so much going on. I'm so busy. I got this, but you find the time to sit here and worry about what he got going on, what she got going on. How? You got time for that? I know I don't got time. This is about keeping your house in order. You got to keep your house in order. I just saw it while shuffling again. You got to keep your house in order. Remember, your house is also your temple. Keep your house in order. It's not even just your actual home. This could be the people in your home. But This is also your mental. You got to keep your mental in order. Some of y'all are doing a bit too much. When you do too much of that, you'll start making yourself a little, I said we fractals of light, but we ain't trying to have no mental fractures. And if you keep at it, you're going to keep doing, you're going to get there. Don't do that to yourself. Go ahead. You need to go ahead and stop now. Okay? You're going to be one of them people going to them resorts, trying to get your mind right again. Hopefully it's just a resort and not, you know, going to a mental health facility. I'm just saying, get it together, because the problem is you're not, see, I'm trying to figure out who we're talking to in this collective, because this got to be karmic energy. Because I know my collective, y'all, this is some karmic energy. Okay? Somebody's not telling the truth to themselves. You're not telling the truth. You lying to yourself. It's so bad that you lying to you. That's what I'm saying. You better chill out, yo. You headed to the house, the crazy house. I'm for real, man. You headed to the crazy house doing this. You lying to yourself so bad. You causing an absolute, that's why I keep hearing delusions. Stop doing it to yourself. It's so much so that you don't want to face yourself, that you'd rather say, oh no, this is somebody else doing this. This is somebody else causing these erratic thoughts in my head. Ma'am. And it's crazy I said ma'am. But my thing is, it's feeling like feminine energy. But you know, sometimes when the masculine, they're they get in their feelings and they get in their feminine. So this could be a masculine as well. You gotta chill, bro. For real. I don't know. Nobody want to wish this on anybody. Everybody, you want people to be in alignment, because when you think about the whole, you think about the collective, we're all tied together. So it would be foolish for me to wish this upon somebody. You get what I'm saying? It won't benefit energetically if I were to wish mental harm on someone, or physical harm, or emotional harm on somebody. It doesn't benefit me, even individually. Because I've mentioned this before. When you speak of others, your subconscious does not understand that you're speaking to someone else or speaking of someone else. It assumes and only knows you itself. This is the season of self. It only knows you. So when you say, oh, that person is a fake, that person is ugly, that person is fat, that person is mentally challenged, that person is whatever you're saying, disorganized, or this person is whatever you're saying, your subconscious says it's you. This is why we have to be very careful on what we say. You really should imagine that every person you are seeing is you. So when they say treat people how you want to be treated, it's much deeper than that, but it still rings true. Because your subconscious thinks you're talking to you. That's it. So when you come to a person, you should imagine that you are speaking to the mirror. And if that person is not even showing you, oh, well, I should not be receiving this energy back. This is not the energy that I'm giving to you. Well, then you need to go ahead and remove yourself. But when you find yourself saying, oh no, about a person, but then you keep going back to that person and feeding them your focus, which is you feeding them your energy, that says something. You have to sit in that and really look and really understand that it's deeper. It's much deeper. That means you're seeing something in that person that you actually do like, and that you actually do want, to emulate, which is no issue until you start to actually become that person. Instead of adding on to who you actually are, you try to completely change your person into that person. This is dangerous. This is extremely dangerous. I would not suggest this. You should always be yourself. You should get to know yourself and love the changes and the transformations that come with that. Instead, you should possibly look at that person as an inspiration instead. Be inspired and say, hell yeah, I want to do something like that. And then put your own spin on it. There's nothing wrong with that. We do it all the time, because guess what? Regardless, say for instance, I'm a reader, there's another reader. We all do it differently. And even if it is similar, we're still ourselves. Doesn't matter. This is the season of self. Be yourself, love yourself. But see, okay, we're having some issues with knowing what direction that we want to go in. Ooh, some of you are asking, who am I? Because we have the transformation card here. You're asking, who am I? You don't know yourself anymore because you're changing. This is the chrysalis effect. When the caterpillar is turning into the butterfly, the caterpillar dies. It dies. It turns into goo inside the chrysalis. And then it restructures itself into a beautiful butterfly, right? But I can imagine that in that chrysalis, you're like, who am I now? Who do I want to be? Maybe indeed that person triggered you and triggered this question within you. I thought I knew who I am, but now I don't. But this is okay. This is okay. This is nothing to be angry about. But if there is anger that comes from this, if there is sadness that comes out of this, if there is any lower vibrations that come from this, you have to sit in it and understand why. But the understanding is only going to come from you, because no one can tell you who you are. Only you can. Only you can. And yes, it can be very scary. But this is something to be celebrated. It is something to be celebrated, not something to hide or anything. It's like you don't have to hide your celebrations. You don't have to worry if there's somebody saying, oh, well, you haven't changed. But if you know you have, that's what matters. We don't need that validation. Okay? Let's see. Let's do one more card from this. And do be careful of your surroundings. there really may be, like I said, the naysayers who tell you that you haven't changed, that no, you haven't done the work, because they remember when you were crazy. And they remember, not necessarily crazy, but unaligned. They remember when you were unaligned, and they remember when you didn't know who you were. But guess what? Now you've become that mirror for them. You've become that trigger for them, because now they've seen you have done the work, and they don't want you to even know. They don't want you to believe that. They want you to stay where you were. It's the season of self, all right? Be aware of your surroundings and your environment, of who may be around you, because yes, while you're doing this celebration and you have great things coming and great things happening, you moving and you shaking, and people moving and shaking with you like, hey, yeah, yeah, they low key not happy about it. Remove yourself. We already went through the season of recognition. You've already recognized these individuals or this group. You've already recognized them. It's the season of self. Time to focus. Time to put that positivity bubble around you. Okay? All right, let's pull one of these oracles. Wonderful. You are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. What thought pattern do you need to shift? Because this brings me back to when, say, for instance, you're talking about somebody, you're saying, oh no, but you keep focusing on them. You're feeding them your energy. You're feeding them your energy, okay? And we can't keep doing that. Because again, like I say, your subconscious doesn't understand the difference. So when you're sitting here spouting off all these things, you're weaving your own reality for yourself. You're manifesting your reality to be the actual things that you're saying to that individual. This is when we talk about spell work. Spell work isn't necessarily rituals and actually, a doll or a candle, or those are just tools. We can literally do it ourselves. We can do it from speaking, which is why spelling, yes? So when you're sitting here and you're sending out spells, just throwing them up, right? Just throwing them up. You're creating that reality for yourself. So I need you all to be very careful. Really become aware of these intrusive thoughts that you may be having. You're over here saying that, possibly saying that people are putting spells on you when it's all you, baby. It's all you. Don't do it to yourself. Speak life, okay? Speak life. All right?